why is it important? Why are you required to be in SNO? Well, why is it important for you to be in SNO, right? So it's starting you as first year students, starting to help you understand the importance of being in a professional organization, right? So what does it do? It fosters high standards of nursing practice and promotes rights of nurses in the workforce. You're sharing information. So starting at an early stage in your career, it's wonderful to start understanding the importance. Okay, so if you had to sum it up, professional. Why join a professional nursing association? Because it helps promote the growth of our profession. Okay, so I'm going to skip this slide because this was exemplified for you in class 1, right? You saw a video with every different type of nurses, okay, in their different roles. What do you know about the expanding roles of nurses, right? There's nurse midwives, there's nurse anesthetists. They've made the necessary legal changes to the scope of practice for advanced practice nurses. So now I'm a nurse practitioner, but I'm not certified right now. But we can have prescriptive authority, right? And we can bill for third party reimbursement. So in some senses they say we're physician extenders or provider extenders, right? So it's filling the need of the ever-changing healthcare that we need more providers, and nurses can get an advanced practice degree and see their own patients. So if you've ever seen a nurse practitioner or a nurse midwife, they are wonderful. Just saying. Okay, so what is an advanced practice nurse? After 4 years of a bachelor's degree, you can go back and get a master's degree. Nurses have additional education, complex decision-making skills. Sometimes they're the first point of contact, right? So they assess, diagnose, treat. All right, we're cruising along here. Turning the corner. Deep breath. This link I showed, but I'm not obviously going to click on it. It's a TED Talk by a young man named Sam Burns who has a very rare disease called progeria. Maybe some of you have seen it. He died in 2014, but and only about 200 children in the world have it at any one time. In the whole world. I can't even imagine. But he's a very fortunate young man, and he has a very amazing holistic outlook on life. So if you get a chance to watch it, it's heartwarming. So the next part is called Standards of Care, and the objective questions are there for you to read. What are you supposed to be getting out of this guided lecture? So our first slide talks about another one of the documents, the foundation of nursing, right? So what is it? Code of Ethics. Who wrote it? The American Nurses Association. Why is it important to you as a first-year nursing student? Because it establishes an ethical standard for the whole profession and a guide for you to use when you're making ethical decisions. And what part of nursing is ethical? Yes, you in the pink shirt. Like everything, right? Ethics is woven into the fabric of nursing. All right. We saw this well, maybe we didn't see this, but my favorite ethical principle, I think I did show this, is number 5, that we owe the same duty to ourselves as others. Right? So these are the provisions We, number one, are going to practice with compassion and respect for all people, right? So that's one of my reasons I love being a nurse because religion and culture and politics, they do not, or how should I say it? Regardless of your religion, culture, politics, who you love, nursing, our foundation documents state that we're going to practice with compassion and respect for all people. You are always welcome to be under the care of nursing. And then I am going to let you go over these and we'll reinforce them in class. So I bet you somewhere in your education so far, you've gone over the basic principles of ethics. So these are definitions for you to start to get your head wrapped around, okay? They're in the book in chapter 22. Okay, so you're going to want to look over those definitions and see if you can make any sense of them, right? There's also examples that you can find page 469 in the book. So, and I'm just doing this in the efforts of time because I know it's hard to sit for so long. So what are standards of care and who defines them? In what document? Oh, you've got this. I know you do. Right? So the ANA defines them in what document? Well, it has the word standard in it, so that should be a clue, right? The scope and standards of nursing practice. So standards are guide and they define care, right? They also help you measure whether a standard is not being met, right? So if you set a standard and then someone fails to meet the standard, then they can be proven to be negligent, right? So that's care below the minimum standard. That makes sense. Standards are across the board the same, right? So long-term care nurse in Fort Kent should be held to the same standard as a long-term care nurse in New York City. We have to make sure that that's true, regardless of where you are. Page 476, it talks about student nurses are actually held to a different standard than registered nurses. So see what you think about that. I just realized I think I'm saying a lot. I'd like to apologize for that. Maybe that's annoying. Or maybe you just didn't notice. But I am going to try not to say that as often. It's harder than you think. Sources of standards. So where do our standards come from? They come from the Joint Commission. Just listen to this, you don't have to write it down. Standards are based on an objective process that can help healthcare organizations measure, assess, and improve performance. Standards focus on patient care and organize functions that are essential to providing safe and high quality care. Wow, there you go. We have institutional accreditation standards and professional nursing bodies that set standards. So I hope we can meet all these standards that people are setting for us. All right, what is negligence? Failure to meet a standard, right? but this, please put a star next to this. You do want to understand. Failure to exercise the care a reasonably prudent and careful person would use under similar circumstances. What that means to you as a nurse at this moment is if you graduate and you are working night shift and you have 6 patients on a nurse, let's say this, you're in a nursing home and there are 30 patients and one nurse and two nurses aides, and that's all that's on for the night shift. And you are the only one who can assess. And you have Mrs. Jones in room one who is having respiratory issues. Her lips are a little blue, she's breathing quickly, her oxygen is low, and you're in there with Mrs. Jones in room one. And while you're in there, the other two nurses' aides are helping Mr. Smith in room two because he is needing to, he's sitting in a mess and he's needing to be cleaned up. So they're working together. He's very large, you see, 300 pounds, and they need to work together to get him cleaned up. And way down the hall, patient number three, poor Millie, she decides she has to go to the bathroom and gets up and falls. And her family is quite angry because, as we know, once a patient falls and breaks their hip, they have I believe it's 50% chance of being dead in a year. It's very, very harsh statistics. So her family's not happy and wants to sue the facility and you, the nurse, for being negligent to poor Millie, who is down the hall. Well, this statement right here, failure to exercise the care a reasonably prudent and careful person would use under similar circumstances. So how many other